the psychedelic years. No video. We'll be speaking soon about more of the individual groups as we go along and start talking about, continue talking about our music. But right now we're going to keep our overview of the rock evolution, and that's the psychedelic years. Those were the middle 60s, and things really started to happen. The Beatles started growing their hair. Everybody started growing their hair. Everybody started wearing jeans, and everyone was wearing loud psychedelic outfits, Edwardian suits, Nehru jackets. It was amazing. The Carnaby look. But it wasn't just the look, it was the sound. All of a sudden, the rock groups were experimenting with guitar feedback because electronics were getting better. Recording was getting better. It was no longer just mono. We're starting to get stereo and even beyond stereo, being able to do multi-track recordings. As we sit down, and look at this stuff, we realized there was a lot of great music that came out of there. Janis Joplin, incredible music. We're going to deal with Janis in a later video, but Janis just blew out incredible amounts of sound out of those pipes of hers. I saw her at the Civic Center with Butterfield Blues Band and Joe Cocker, and she went absolutely crazy. Joe Cocker went absolutely crazy. Butterfield Blues Band was absolutely crazy, though. It was really Janis that we wanted to see, and Joe Cocker was a surprise with his playing the bass as he was going along. You had Janis. You had the Jefferson Airplane. I've got a friend, Benji, who actually kissed Grace Slick. We went to the concert with Bob and Larry and myself and Benji went to talk his way into the back with Bob. You can't do that anymore. And came out with a smile on his face about kissing Grace Slick. Grace Slick, as you know, was the lead singer of the Jefferson Airplane. Gorgeous, great lead singer, really great music. As they started getting into their protest music with volunteers, they really helped lead the way for the anti-war protest marches. Grateful Dead was going on in the background during all of this. I wasn't really into the Grateful Dead. I liked it loud, I liked it hard, and I liked the psychedelic sound. The Beatles, who everybody calls a leader, was not a leader. The Beatles were great at following after they came here, and that's what they did with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Underrated now by everyone, but one of the greatest albums of all time. An album that I remember staying up with my big radio that I received from Uncle Jerry as a gift in the middle of the night, and when they released Sgt. Pepper's, they kept playing the album over and over and over again, and all I did was keep it on real quiet so my parents wouldn't hear me, and just listen to the music and fell in love with the album. Bought it immediately as a mono album, and then bought the stereo album because the difference in sound was so incredible. You had the Rolling Stones with their Satanic Majesty's Request, and then of course that which we spoke about earlier was the kickoff of the psychedelic era, was Monterey, maybe the greatest rock fest of all time. You had the Mamas and the Papas, the Byrds were breaking up. Neil Young was still working his way through deciding where he was going to go. He ended up going solo, one of the greatest rockers of all time, in my opinion, the greatest rocker of all time, playing incredible music throughout, and he unfortunately didn't show up at Monterey, but he would have been incredible if he did. And we're going to talk about Neil Young as we go forward. You have Quicksilver Messenger Service. You just had so many great groups with great names, great sounds, great instruments, people going absolutely bonkers. Of course, drugs is all a part of it. How could drugs not be a part of it? Psychedelic. I went to the Fillmore West, saw Country Joe and the Fish, and saw Joe Cocker the second time after Country Joe and the Fish. I remember as we were walking out, all of a sudden we were bummed because we didn't hear, I think we were going to die rag, and we hear, F, give me an F, give me a U. Everybody came running back in, went absolutely bonkers. We all started singing. Incredible music. Once again, it was our Facebook. Once again, it was our Twitter. It was the way we communicated with each other. We all communicated through the music. We all grew long hair. I grew incredible Neil Young sideburns. He had the greatest sideburns of all time, the big mutton chops. Those sideburns were incredible, and I could grow hair. Back then, you wanted to grow hair. You didn't want to be shaved like all the, as we used to call metrosexuals now. You wanted hair. You had to have hair, long, beautiful hair, shining. Everybody sang this song. Everybody knew it. It came from, you had a play called Hair. A play called Hair. That's what was going on. The music owned the world. The kids owned the world. And that was our music. And that's where the music went. Listen to some of the psychedelic music. Look at the albums. Look at Cream's Disraeli Gears. Look at the outside of that album. Look at Hendrix's Are You Experienced? Look at Hendrix's second album. Listen to something like If 6 Were 9. If all the hippies cut their hair. I don't care. I don't care. Steppenwolf, Born to Be Wild is still hot now. Goddamn the Pusher, man. It's just so much incredible music. Incredible era, a couple years, then it got crazy and then it disappeared. Listen to it. Psychedelia, outrageous music. We'll be breaking into those groups as the Eric Burden worked into that kind of stuff, and some other music as we move forward. We're going to talk about that, but listen to it. Look at the album covers. The album covers were loud. They were bright. They were incredible. The music was incredible. And that's all we talked about. Who has the latest album? Who has the latest hot album? Listen to that guitar. Listen to that rhythm. And they're saying it. Go on. Peace. Peace now. Ho, ho, Ho Chi Minh. The NLF is going to win. I didn't say that, but that's what was going on out there. And the music said it all. Peace.